Among the hills of central Scotland, across the banks of the River Erne, the compact shape of the village of Comrie. There isn't much here to attract the notice of the casual visitor, driving through on the main road from Perth. A few shops, churches, a good hotel. But it's here in Comrie, until the last century, a little island of Gaelic speakers in a sea of English, that every year they turn the last page of the annual calendar with a ceremony so old that its origins and its history have long been forgotten.
Hello, Joe Gillis. We'll get a ladder and set it there now. We can try it. We can try it now and see what like it.
Well, I remember the first time I saw the Flambeaux. I must have been maybe about 3. I don't think I'd be any more, because my mother lifted me up in her arms and to the window. And as I told you before, this hellish conflagration came, and there'd be maybe a dozen Flambeaux, and dressed up in these garbs, you know, grotesque, maybe false faces. But there was some of them, they didn't like the false faces because they couldn't drink through them, you see. So they preferred to blacken their face with corks, or in fact boot polish. How in the name of creation they got it off after, I don't know. It was mostly the boys about the stables here. You remember Jock Gow and that, and Harry Mingus, and maybe the Botkin and the apprentices.
Yes.
What was that? John Roberts Carmichael, you remember? Or Carmichael, as we pronounce it in these days.
I've no doubt, so that the like of our fathers would be behind an awful lot.
Oh yes, they subsidised, I think, to a certain extent.
They'd be behind it.
Yes, and encouraged it.
Yes.
What is it about, the Flambeaux?
Well, nobody really knows. Nobody really knows. But they say that it's we go to each end of the village with the parade, you know, with the Flambeaux, and it's they say it's to wave the evil spirits out for the year.
And we cut the birch sticks, and then we come back and we wrap them with sack and wire them.
One time when our secretary and I went to cut them, I said, here's a nice straight one, you know, which was an ash. No good at all. No good at all. It has to be birch. Don't ask me why. It must be a superstition of some sort.
Then we take them down to the hall down the village here, and we steep them in paraffin for at least 6 weeks. And then there comes the night, this night, we draw them out about 11:45, and then midnight is lit.
At least 2,000 people here tonight. At least 2,000. We have lads that come back to Comrie, you know, from all parts of Britain, even from abroad.
You won't be driving out all the spirits in Comrie tonight, will you?
Oh no, there's a lot there.
Comrie's New Year Flambeaux ceremony is an event which unites and gives identity to the whole village, exiles and those who've stayed at home, the old remembering the past, and the young now learning a tradition they'll be expected to carry on in their turn.
The first prize, and it goes to the Green Goddess. And that young lady is none other than Andrea McAllister.
O'clock, midnight. The Flambeaux are lit.
Here we go!
Now the flaming torches will be taken to shed their light into every corner of the village. Comrie's people may have forgotten the reason, But that's because the symbols belong to the time before Christianity, when the first in the ancient Celtic tree calendar was the birch, traditional for driving out the old and the evil, even from the backs of criminals. Comrie's Flambeaux procession is moving with the times. Where once there were black-faced geysers and a solitary piper, today there are floats and a whole military band. Those who don't follow the procession wait behind in the main square, listening to the sound of music echoing from the hills as the flambeaux, pipes and drums beat around the village boundaries. The torches return. Their job of cleansing the village is done, and now they are thrown down to make a bonfire in the center of the square, while by the light of its flames the villagers dance a hula hoop around it. It's as if passing in an instant from the last day of one year to the first of the next might threaten the distinction between them. So to separate old and new, there has to be a period of transition, neither one nor the other, when the normal laws of time are suspended, and with them, the normal Calvinist rules of Highland Scots sobriety.
I hope the Flambeaux will go on for a long time yet.
Oh, they'll go on ad infinitum, you can take that as given, because
It is.
although it's a changing generation, there are a lot of people who will be staying here more permanently than when we were young, because there was nothing here.
No.
Now they can travel so easily, you see.
As their flames die, the flambeaux are taken and thrown over the bridge into the river. The ceremony is over. The new year can begin.